What's going on there, guys? Enzo here with One Up and Team Associated, and I just wanted to make a quick video explaining some things that I do to tune my cars when I go to different races with radio. So without further ado, let's go ahead and turn on my Sanwa M17 and let's start talking about the things that I do. Alright, so with the new M17 you get a lot of adjustability. A lot of things that you can do to dial in the feel and the reaction and overall connection that you have with your car. And one of the big changes that I like to change, that's a relatively simple but big change that I do on the driver's stand, depending on grip conditions and how my car's feeling after making adequate changes, is I like messing with the overall connectivity of the radio to the car, sort of the response and the feel of the radio in relation to your steering feel. And this is something that I either step up and make it a little bit more responsive for lower and lower grip level tracks, or something that I sometimes take away or numb down the radio when we run on high and very high grip clay conditions with slicks and stuff like that. So I'll go ahead and show you guys where this is located. So you'll turn on your radio and you'll go to settings and scroll down, and it's called feeling. So the feeling is the relation of the reaction and feedback that you get from your wheel when you're doing those initial small movements, getting the car initiated into the corner. The feeling will basically calm that down or make it more reactive, depending on what you're looking at of the car. So for example, when I run on lower grip conditions, low to medium, where the car has a little bit of a slide, or sometimes going into the corner you can tell that the front of the car doesn't have as much response and reaction from the wheel, I like to move my steering feeling up to 5 or 6S. So that's basically what the radio comes with. The max is actually 7. So I'll normally run it, like I said, at 5 or 6. And all this does is it makes the initial movement of your wheel, when you point the car into the corner and you are feeding it a full radius of wheel, it makes sure that the radio and the car are very synced up as one. It's very reactive. You're going to make sure you're going to be feeling all the steering inputs in the car. And it just makes sure that the car is as responsive as it can be. And sometimes when we go to lower grip tracks, and some guys will say, oh, my car feels a little bit pushy, or I'm not really getting that response that I want in and out of corners. Sometimes, depending on your setup and your driving style, it's as simple as increasing the sensitivity of the radio. So this will be something that I'll run, at a higher setting, just like I said, at 5 or 6. And it just gives you the response that you'll be wanting to look for when you're out there on the track. So here's a little clip that I did before of one of my previous videos when our track was about a low medium. The car had a little bit of give and it wasn't as planted going around the track. So this was running at about 5 or 6 sensitivity. Take a look.
Enzo with the 19507, Brian with the 17517, Alan with the 16517.
Alright, so as you saw in that video, the track wasn't as high grip. You could tell that it had a little bit of a slide to it going into some corners. It maybe even looked a tad pushy, but to get that responsiveness that I wanted and the feedback that I needed on the track to really make sure that the car was tracking where I wanted it to, that was with the sensitivity on the radio turned up. So now when I run on anything medium high, all the way up to super high, I'll actually detune my radio and take away from it. So when I run on very high grip tracks, I find myself running very low. Actually, I'll run it as low as 2. That's kind of been my full comfort zone for two-wheel. Two-wheel, I like it sometimes at 2 or 3, and mod 4-wheel, my 4-wheel drive buggy, I'll actually run that even lower, sometimes 1 or 2, since 4 wheels, they have drive in the front and they can be a little bit twitchy to hold on to on very high grip tracks. I'll run that, the 4-wheel setting a little bit lower, sometimes, like I said, 1 click lower than the 2-wheel. And all that'll do is when you lower it, it's not necessarily that you're taking away steering from the car, or it's not like taking down your servo speed. You're not messing with the servo speed of the car. You're just calming down the reaction and the connectivity of the radio to your car. Again, when you explain this to some guys, or I've showed them at the track what I run, a lot of people say, oh, well, that's taking away steering. You're not taking away steering. Like I said, you're just calming down the reaction of your radio to your car. So when we go to those very high grip tracks like Midwest Champs at the Ohio RC Factory, or sometimes even my track like it was for the Nationals, anywhere where you're running slicks, high grip, maybe even gluing sidewalls on the front of your cars, that's where you'll use this setting. So again, you'll go into feeling, and it's down on steering. I do believe there is a throttle function, but I've only ever used steering. So I'll run that at 2S, and then I'll go back from there. So when you do that, like I said, you're just mellowing out the front of the car, and you're making sure that the front doesn't overpower the overall setup of your car. So I have a little video of this 2-wheel in my main from the Nats, and you can tell, if you compare the 2 videos, you'll notice that the front of my car, it's a little bit smoother. You can tell initiating and going into corners is a little bit calmer, more predictable, as the grip was very high at the Nationals. So yeah, I'll go ahead and put that clip down. This was from my main at the Nats, battling out with all the guys and running with Mayfield. It was a fun battle. We were freight training for a good amount of the race. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that video, and you guys can take a look.
10 seconds. Chase. Got by Mark. So now Chase is up there in that third and final podium position. Race to the line, race to the line, race to the line, race to the line. Race to the line, race to the line.
All right, so as you saw in that video, the car was a little bit more tame, a little bit more drivable, and because of it, was able to race out a little bit cleaner with the guys and feel a little bit more comfortable trailing and running so close to those people. So this is a big change, something that I like to mess with from track to track depending on conditions, and I just wanted to share it with everyone. So again, something relatively simple. Try it out, test it out at your home track, make some changes, and you should be able to feel the difference also, and it's something that'll help you out. So I hope this video was informative and can help you guys out in any way going around the track, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll post some videos soon. Take care.